Welcome here to the Buzz and North Show. It is actually going to be a separate episode, not an episode. It's not going to be like episode 24, but I'm here joined by Lee the Hornet. I don't think he has a YouTube channel. He usually just does Instagram and stuff like that. Covers the Hornets a lot. Go check him out on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description below. But I wanted to get him on here because we've been talking for the past couple months, and I've of course been posting a lot on Instagram myself. And the Hornets are doing really well now. I mean, 7 games in a row. That is unbelievable. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's hard to even imagine that, like coming into the season, like having a 7 game winning streak in January. And I don't know if you just saw, but Con Kenneth just won Rookie of the Month. I think it was either Rookie of the Month, and then Charles Lee just won Coach of the Month. So it's a good time in Charlotte for sure with the
exactly.
Panthers,
Yeah.
Hornets, really everybody. But first off, I just want to ask, speaking of Charles Lee, how do you personally feel that Charles Lee has done as a coach so far? Because I actually was talking about him yesterday. You can go watch the clip on Instagram and YouTube if you haven't seen it. But I was talking about how if Charles Lee is fired right now, we would probably be a poverty franchise again.
Yeah.
We have really just. He is a great coach. I think at the start of the year he was just kind of testing some stuff out.
Yeah. It seems whatever the thoughts are, I'm not in every locker room before every game. I would say that Charles Lee seems to have a lot more buy-in than at least that of Steve Clifford.
Oh
And
yeah,
when at least looking at just like your last 5 years, it seems like Coach Lee has a lot more confidence, has a lot more poise, and has a lot more control of the locker room. It seems like the boys trust him too. I know that there's been rumors, circulating that have been addressed as kind of false, but circulate nevertheless, that there is kind of some butting heads now after last night. There are absolutely some butting of heads, quite literally. But I think that overall, I like Charles Lee a lot. Every game I scream when they announce Charles Lee, just like, thank you, Charles, just because I think coaching the Hornets at all is a really difficult job and is a job that is takes a very special mind. And for me, Coach Lee and being Lee the Hornet, he's going to get some points for me no matter what. I like him. I think he's great. And yeah, I would probably agree with you, Ethan, if Coach Lee left right now, if Coach Lee got an offer, God forbid, outside of his contract and something like that, wanted to go to FIBA or whatever, that was like
yeah.
$30 million. That would suck. That would really suck.
It would.
And I think that it would be really hard ultimately to get a coach that has as much aura and has as much community buy-in. But I think even with the last year and a half of Charles Lee's work, we could now also get now coaching the Hornets is kind of like the cool up and comer. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
almost hope that we can Charles Lee can continue to keep these reins pushing them forward, or else now we might be cool enough to get someone better than Charles Lee. That's my only thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. And then the next question. First of all, I want to say that that was actually really good points there. But second of all, just the next question to build off of that. He has really built this team well this year. He really has. He has built this team well. And wasn't he the coach last year? I don't know why I'm asking that.
Yeah,
Me
he
and my dad.
was.
Okay,
He was indeed. Yeah.
it was just a situation where me and my dad were asking it yesterday, and like we went to a game. It was just like the Mandela effect was hitting or something like that. It was crazy. And but either way, so he's built the team well, and so I do personally agree with the fact that it would be a tragedy for Charlotte sports if he left. However, second question is this: do you think the Hornets will make the playoffs, not the play-in? Okay, now of course, right now I actually posted it on Instagram the other day, well, yesterday actually, after they beat the Pelicans. If the Hawks lose to tonight at 7:30, I think
Yes.
they play the Jazz, and then if they lose the
I'll be
next
hate
game.
watching some basketball today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then if they lose the next game, then the Hornets beat the Rockets on Thursday. Then the Hornets would be in the playoff, the 10th seed play-in spot, not locked in, of course, yet because there's still a lot of basketball to be played. But for
Yeah.
now, they would be in the 10th seed play-in spot, as the Hawks would be 24 and 29, the Hornets would be 24 and 28. So of course, we're definitely on the brink of a play-in, and I would honestly go to argue that like Chuck, I think, said on NBA and ESPN, guaranteed.
Yes,
He said
guaranteed.
we're going to make the play in. But he actually, speaking of Chuck, he just guaranteed the Hornets to make the playoffs too. Like,
Yeah.
just skip the
Yeah.
play in. That's how
True.
good they're doing right now. And actually,
True.
I saw something the other day. Kalshi is not sponsored, like that betting app Kalshi. But I saw something
Yep.
the other day that said Kalshi has got the Hornets like ceiling right now is like 50 wins on the year, and then
Totally.
like 2 weeks ago it was like at 29 or something. And so
Yeah.
I mean, like it's definitely we're definitely getting up there. So I mean, the question is, do you think we'll like make the playoffs and just skip the entire play-in and just leave the same four teams that's been in it the past couple of years, or do you think, you know, the
I
Hornets
think,
will make the play-in and then get to the playoffs that way, or kind of losing the play-in? What do you think?
yeah. I mean, I think Hornets have these next 6 games are going to be the biggest sample size for sure. And I think a lot of people agree with
Oh
that. Not
yeah,
only because it is difficult teams, but because we are playing teams again. You know what I mean? We play the Hawks twice, we play the Rockets twice, and that will
yeah,
allow us to really understand what it is like to play somewhat of a series, and be good in a playoff play-in. And if we can win, even half of these next games, especially if we win 6 or 5 of these next games, continue a win streak going in any semblance of a form, we're in a really good position. The playoff position would be ours to lose at that position. Now, I've
yeah,
watched the Hornets lose a lot of things, and I would say that ultimately postseason is a success, and I think that I don't want to lose sight of someone who has been in the Spectrum Center for 50 nights a year, for the last 2 or 3 years. Like, I don't want to lose. If we are the 11th seed and get a lottery pick and move into next, like, I would look at that as a success this year. Like,
yeah.
you really can't take this year away from me no matter what. So I kind of, with that mentality, yeah, I think playoff. I think playoff is very likely. I really do, because I think that this team wants it, and I think that we don't really benefit that much from a lottery pick. And I mean, I think that I foresee that probably being done through play-in tournament, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I would like to also point out the 76ers are the sixth seed. That would be the team as of right now to pass to get into the playoffs and
Mm-hmm.
skip the play-in. And because of how, like, I mean, just, and actually, I said this at the beginning of the year. I was talking about the Hornets kind of like a preview way before the preseason started. The Eastern Conference is kind of shaken up this year. So, I mean, this is the
Mm-hmm.
year the Hornets have to really go on a run in the playoffs if they want to do it. I mean, that's
Totally.
once again kind of sounds crazy, but I mean, Tyrese Halliburton injured. Jason Tatum injured. I mean, like all these teams are kind of like shaken up this year. So I mean, mentioning the 76ers, they're only 5 games ahead of us for that sixth seed, and I mean that's skipping the entire
Yeah,
5 games
nothing.
is not
Yeah,
much
that's
at
nothing.
all.
It's
Like if
not much at all.
I
We're not
mean
even in the
like
All-Star
I mean
break.
like if we go and win like 7 more games and the 76ers, Heat, Magic, and Bulls and Hawks all lose a couple games, then we'd be probably seventh seed fighting for that sixth seed spot. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
that's all. I mean, for example, the Western Conference, their sixth seed, the Lakers, is almost 10 games ahead of the Trailblazers at that spot. But then once again, the Eastern it's only 5. I mean, that's how just
I
shaken
was
up
gonna
this
say,
Eastern
and
Conference is
Ethan,
this
and
year.
Ethan, you're talking all pre All-Star break, meaning that like
Yeah.
these things are great momentum, and we're looking at great momentum. And what I love about all of this is that it's a little bit of Hornets copium. Whenever there's hope anywhere, we're going to huff it and isolate it and hang banners, 7 game win streak. But I think that it's important to understand that we could genuinely be in a playoff position pre All-Star break, and that's kind of what I was going into. It's ours to lose, and I
Yeah.
do feel like that is true right now. I like the Hornets win or lose, I really do, but I think that right now, postseason appearance is ours to lose, despite not
Uh-huh.
being in the postseason.
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of All-Star break, it's before the All-Star break, the trade deadline. So that is
Yes.
February 5th, this Thursday at 3 p.m. And we're already seeing a lot of trades coming in. We
Yeah.
just saw Jaron
Trickle in even today.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just today. I mean, like
The
I keep
Jazz
getting,
just blew up
yeah,
their team.
yeah. I keep getting messages from like Bleacher Report, ESPN, like, oh, breaking news. I mean, it's kind of crazy how quick these are coming in. But I mean, I wanted to ask, what do you think the Hornets will do at the deadline? Because of course I don't know if you saw this a while back, but I mean Jeff Peterson a while back, the other day said, "quote I mean we're in the situation where like a huge trade has to happen at some point." And I mean I completely agree with that. I would like to build off that for a second. I mean he's right. Okay, I mean, we're in like a young kind of developing situation. And when you start seeing that slow improvement, that's when you go get yourself a Domantas Sabonis. That's when you go get yourself a Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's when you go get
Mm-hmm.
yourself and blow up the NBA. Okay, that's when you
Mm-hmm.
go do that. But, I mean, who do you think we're going to get? Do you think we're going to play conservative? Do you think we're going to go to aggressive? I mean, I have some takes on it, but I mean, I just want to hear yours first.
I think, in terms of, I'll also say that a lot of what I'm informing this opinion on is conversations with the front office staff that I've been lucky enough to have over the last couple of weeks, which
Oh,
I
really?
feel is yeah, totally, is just a steady patience. I always, I bring this up often with them, which is last year they said we were in the second inning of a 9 inning ball game, and I constantly ask them, when are we in the third inning? And they have not confidently told me that we are in the third inning, even as of like a month ago. Now, this was pre-win streak, so I'd love to get their opinions. I had a meeting with them yesterday, and it got canceled due to snow. So I will talk with them eventually and get you kind of some feedback if you want. But I really do believe that no real big trades are going to happen. We kind of want some edge trades. Off season is kind of where this is going to happen because everybody is looking, like I said, as the season is a success. The season is already measurably better than last season in terms of
Yeah.
wins and losses. It has to be. And I think a lot of what we're seeing is we now have that sample size. We wanted to see what the starting five looked like, and we have that sample size. Now that we have that sample size, how can we improve upon it? And what trades can we meaningfully make probably in the off season once we've seen that sample size grow? That being said, I do believe that Jeff Peterson would move on a trade that I would be considered solid. If the Utah Jazz wanted to continue blowing up their team and they called and said Miles Bridges for Lauri Markkanen straight up, I'd probably do it. You know what I mean? Like I think Miles Bridges is great, but I'd probably do it. And so like there are worlds where okay, can we make improvements because people are willing to overpay or people are really willing to move things? And honestly, I don't know if the Lauri Markkanen and Miles Bridges trade would go through right now. I think the front office
Yeah.
would probably want to pick in it. But I know that ultimately trades that are going to happen, I see much more aligning around the Josh Greens, the Tijon Salons, and the Trey Mans. And
Yes,
I
exactly.
really want
Yes.
the Josh Greens and Tijon Salons on our team, but Trey Man, as positive as I want to be, has been very bratty this year, is maybe a word that I'll use to describe him. And I know that Spencer Dinwiddie lost his spot on the Hornets because he was being a little
Yeah.
bratty. So I can definitely see the front office just desiring to put Trey in a new situation and pulls a fresh face here that's really just excited to be here. I've heard Trey Man for Lonzo Ball be
That's
thrown around
exactly what
every
I
now
was
and
about to
then.
point out. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was just about to point out the fact. I mean, like Trey Man for Lonzo Ball. Like, I mean, I mean, of course, we've heard the Lonzo Ball rumors. Just to start with that, I mean, we've heard them like really amping up. I mean, I don't know if you saw it the other day, but I mean, apparently, like, there's reports of them actually discussing this, like, really
Yeah.
discussing this, like, heavily. Now,
Yes.
of course, I mean, LaMelo and Lonzo have like history in high school. I mean, they were like that huge duo back in the days. I mean, I think if it happened, he would not be a starter, of course. I mean, if we're being honest, he would
Heavens
definitely,
no. I think he'd
yeah,
play
no.
a similar role to Trey. Yeah.
but,
They're
but,
very limited minutes.
but I would like to say, Lonzo is not the worst player in the world. And I mean, number one, I think if we traded Trey Man for Lonzo Ball straight up, that would be a steal of the century. Just putting it out there. I honestly believe
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
then number two, if we got Lonzo Ball, I honestly also believe that, I mean, we could play him about 10, 15 minutes a game, kind of like we already do Josh Green. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we could kind of up the minutes for Lonzo Ball, maybe even up the, I think we've got so much depth right now that people don't realize. I mean, we've kind of
Yeah.
developed this team to have so much depth. Like, I mean, um, like you said, Josh Green, he's great. Tijon Salon, he's also great. I mean, he's Tijon Salon has still got some things to amp up, of course, but I mean,
Totally.
I mean, it's just there's a
And
lot to think about when it comes to the trade deadline.
yeah, agreed. And going into that Tijon, which I know we wanted to somewhat discuss a Tijon Salon trade, which I'd be
Yes,
interested in kind of jumping further into, which
yeah, that was
I
actually
kind
my
of
next
I love.
question.
Yeah, I love Tijon Salon. I really do. I always like our guys who I know are trying their hardest and might just not be at the position that they need to be in. I got a Daquan Jeffries jersey up there. You might not even know who that is.
I do
But
actually.
okay, good. Shout out. I really like Tijon Salon a lot. And he is younger than a lot of our rookies are right now, just in terms of age. I mean, he's been playing professional high level basketball for just as long as these guys. I don't want to discount that. But he hasn't been playing it in America. And the rules are
Uh-huh.
slightly different, and defense runs a little bit differently. And I think that ultimately Tijon is capable of being an amazing player, but it's also possible that he needs to be developed somewhere else in terms of how he becomes that amazing player. I think there might be a world where in a different system, Tijon's actually getting minutes. He's not going to Greensboro. He is having those awkward 6, 12 point games and can start to really smooth out into a, 12 to 16 to 18 point a game player. And I think he can be that and he wants to be that. But the Hornets, I think, are signaling that they kind of feel bad that they're not giving him the time that he needs, consistently sending him to Greensboro, where he dominates, and then they feel bad for putting him there, so they pull him back up. He's in this weird
It's
spot.
a cycle. It's a cycle.
Right.
I mean, like
Yeah.
send him to Greensboro, bring him back up, play him about
Yes.
6 minutes. He does like he gets like 3 rebounds, 6 points, and then you bring him
Yep.
back down to Greensboro. Now,
Yeah.
I would say I was thinking about this the other day. There's some people in Greensboro. I'm winging it here. This is not one of the questions I gave you. But, KJ Simpson, he is somebody who I would look at as a guy who we could possibly play some bench minutes for Charlotte. I honestly
Agreed.
believe that. I mean,
The
he
only
actually
reason
he has
KJ Simpson is, yeah, you're very right. You're very right.
yeah.
Continue. You're very right.
He has definitely shown his like place in Greensboro. I mean, Tijon and KJ, of course, play very different positions, but I think if KJ Simpson was like our new guy who we gave those Tijon minutes, if that makes sense. Like, let's say we traded Tijon at the deadline in 2 days for like a second round pick or something. Then we
Yep.
just called up KJ Simpson. Then I would not be mad about that. I think
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, we're already not playing Tijon, and KJ, I feel like has got a little more like developing power in him. And I do
Sure.
kind of, I mean, I've been a Tijon Salon lover since he got drafted. I love
Agreed.
Tijon.
Agreed.
I
Yeah. Maybe
really
not the day
want
he's
him to
drafted. There's video
succeed.
of me reacting to him drafted, and I had no idea who he was. So maybe not
Yeah,
on draft day, but like a couple hours
yeah,
after draft night. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I also didn't know who he was at draft day, but I mean,
Right.
but I mean, I just ever since 3 hours after draft day, I mean, I have been like just loving him, and I mean,
Right.
I would love for him to do good, but it's almost like he just it's not that he can't do good, but it feels like he can't do good because I mean he's just kind of once again like the cycle. I feel like that's kind of just
Hmm.
hurting his development in a way because it's just
Agreed.
kind of
At this
like
stage.
putting him up and then bringing him back down and then putting him
Right.
up and then bringing him down.
Right.
I mean it's a ton to think about with T. John Salon because I mean you could either keep developing him in Greensboro or just try and give him more minutes in Charlotte. But if you
I
give
think,
him
yeah.
more minutes in Charlotte, then he's going to do bad. Then we're going to do bad. I
I
mean
was going to say,
so
you're right. He has Tijon Salon has no place on a win streak team, on
yeah.
a team that is truly chasing perfection like the Hornets are. And even if that is stupid records, right now we are. When we are looking for the next 6 games, Charles Lee, Miles Bridges, you bet, Colin Sexton are looking at 6 W's on the calendar.
Oh
That's what they
yeah.
want. That's what they're fighting for. Anything less would not necessarily be a loss, but it would be a failure, I think, in terms of what the Hornets desire in their hearts. Anyways, I think Tijon can't be on the team if we are going after that kind of upper echelon level plus 500 basketball for the rest of this year. And I think that might mean he need to be traded. KJ is amazing. KJ has proven that, maybe even better than Colin Sexton. I'd argue that's politics. Genuinely, I believe it's politics. And I think KJ is getting a little tired of the politics. We can't play him that many games because he's a two-way. And we ran into this with Musa Diabate. Eventually, you can truly force your value. But I think it might be better for KJ, who has a player option in his 4th year, to say no. If he can do this again next year, he has a lot more negotiation room. That being said, the Hornets could send him an offer at any time. They did that with Musa Diabate, and now Musa Diabate is getting paid $1.1 million a year. That's nothing. Did you know he's getting paid $1.1 million? He's getting paid
Oh yeah, no,
nothing.
that's nothing.
Like, it's nothing. So I like, if we can do that with KJ and there's any kind of leap there, I think the Hornets will jump on it. But I agree. I think right now it's just politics that he's not playing. It's positions, it's seats, it's politics. And I wish the best for him. And maybe moving Tijon is the way that we get KJ those minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I would like to ask my next question. This is kind of the crazy question, and then I'll kind of move off the deadline and go to my kind of last little winging it type question. This is the last deadline question, though, and it's kind of a crazy scenario. But I was talking to Andrew Fenichel. I learned how to say his name a couple weeks back. Andrew Fenichel. He's very good on YouTube. Of course, a little shout out there. But he just covers the NBA and NFL. And, we were talking about, Bill Simmons a while back. And Bill Simmons on his podcast just amped up on this, by the way. So, like, he just said times two, why shouldn't this happen?
Yeah.
Steph Curry
Yeah.
to the Hornets. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I, I would love it, but I would like to say the exact same words that I said on my podcast literally yesterday. If we traded LaMelo Ball for Steph Curry straight up, I would hate it.
Wow. Do you see that notification real quick? James
What?
Harden to the Cavs.
Really?
Darius Garland to the Clippers. Yep, that's a
Dead
big one.
serious? That's
Yes,
huge.
dead
We
serious.
just caught that on camera. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, expected. It said Brian Winsord says expected to be traded for each other later today, so not finalized. Could still fall through, but yeah,
That's
but expected to be traded for each other later today.
that's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
But, but back on the
Very cool.
Curry thing.
Anyways, yeah.
So if we traded LaMelo Ball straight up for Steph Curry, okay, I would hate it because I mean, we've seen that. I would like to think of it this way: LaMelo Ball can't carry a team, if that makes sense, because we saw the past 2 years, our records was horrid, okay, terrible, okay, and I feel like LaMelo Ball got injured a lot because we didn't really have depth at all. We just had LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller. That's it. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
It was basically
Yep.
just those three. But LaMelo Ball was still mainly doing the work. Okay, LaMelo Ball was still mainly doing all the work for the team. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. LaMelo Ball basically got those 19 wins the past couple years. Okay,
Sure. Sure.
I mean, and I mean like himself. Okay, but this year we see all
Shout out
this.
Miles Bridges.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
there's
for
a couple.
sure, for sure. But the past this year, we see Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Concadable, Musa Diabate, all these guys like kind of taking a little share to carry the team.
Yeah.
And now LaMelo
Yeah.
Ball isn't getting injured. LaMelo Ball's averaging like 19 points a game. He's doing absolutely incredible with the assists. He's passing it to Concadable, and Concadable's shooting threes and draining them like it's nothing. Okay. And so, I mean, I mean, if we traded, once again, if we traded LaMelo Ball for Steph Curry right now, I feel like it would almost ruin the franchise because you're trading a young, easily developing LaMelo Ball for Steph Curry, who's about to retire in 2 years. I mean, I get you could say, oh, well, Dale Curry played with the Hornets. What if Steph Curry just wants that name on his back again? What if the Curry family just wants to see Charlotte and then Curry on the back again? That's what me and Andrew Fenishow was talking about, though. If we traded Curry in like 2 years, if we traded for Curry in like 2 years when maybe he turns like 39 or 40, okay? If that happened, then we probably wouldn't even have to trade LaMelo Ball for him because it would be a little bit, he'd be a little aging. We'd probably have to trade still a good, decent amount, but like a first and maybe Brandon Miller. And then we can just like, once again, put that name on his back, once again with the Charlotte jersey, go on a little playoff run, hopefully. And then the Dale Curry happy, get Seth Curry happy, the whole Curry family's happy again. So, I mean, there's two ways to think about it, but trading LaMelo Ball for Steph Curry, no. Trading anyone else in like 2 or 3 years, I would say would be a kind of like cool little like storyline type thing for this team.
And I don't even know if a trade is necessary. I love
Really?
Steph Curry, but hear me out. If we don't get Giannis, if the Warriors don't get Giannis, Steph Curry's career in Golden State is over. And I mean, like that's a really bold paintbrush to paint, but it's not an inaccurate one. I really don't feel. And I think that means at some point in time, Steph Curry will probably, knowing him, probably just be say like, okay, I'm ready to kind of just start not fading out of existence, but ready to take a role that is
A little smaller.
building up the next
Yeah.
generation, etc. At that point in time, I could see the Warriors just not re-signing him and him just going into free agency. Believe it or not. What team?
Yeah.
What team has the highest, ability to send an offer to Steph Curry for free agency? He already has accepted a job to coach at Davidson College when he retires. He's already accepted it. Davidson College is in North Carolina. Like, why wouldn't he come down and just play basketball for one more year here? Like the Taj Gibson, like the Pat Connaughton. We can have a Steph Curry who we're playing a league minimum to play 4 minutes a game to sell tickets, to sit in the locker room and to have fun. And I don't know if that will need to be traded because he'll be worth that money to the Hornets long after he's worth that money to everyone else. He can go tour a year in New York. He can go tour a year in LA. He can go tour a year in Minneapolis. And then we'll take him on the fourth year when he's 43 and can barely move. Like at the end of his career, I don't know if a trade will be necessary. I think we'll want him on our team just because it'll be worth $13 million because we'll sell that many jerseys. And he'll accept it because he wants to, exactly like you said, have that jersey. That's more how I see it. That being said, if they get Giannis, I think that they're going to keep Steph Curry until every single ounce of basketball is left in that body. Every single tiny ounce of basketball. So it really does depend on what the Warriors can do and if Jimmy Butler maybe can access some stem cells or something and get working. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Now my last question, as I think we have about 9 minutes left, because y'all won't subscribe to my channel, and so I won't get paid. Like subscribe. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
subscribe. Hit him up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But so he said it first. He's got like 1,000 followers or whatever, probably way more. I can't even count. Anyways, back to my next question. So, well, this one isn't really a question. I just want to paint a picture for you here because I think it was on my segment Scouts Report the other day yesterday. I keep saying the other day. It's only Tuesday, which is kind of crazy. It's been really slow this week. But
I know, yeah, real.
The Rockets, the next couple weeks, okay, are okay. Let me reset for a second. I feel like we've kind of already gotten past the purge of the season. Okay. I feel like the first half of the season was way harder than it is now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because looking at the schedule, we played the Timberwolves, the Lakers, the Bucks twice, the Thunder, the Clippers, the Knicks. The Raptors are pretty good. I mean, you can count them. The Knicks.
Totally.
The Raptors
Scotty's
again.
An all-star.
Yeah, for sure. Nuggets, the Cavs, the Pistons, the Cavs, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Bucks, the Thunder. I mean, I could go on. Okay.
And we beat some of those good teams.
Yeah, for sure. But then when we started going on the 6-game win streak, it kind of and like when we got into January, you almost noticed after that Cavs game, when we started going on those winning games, if you look past that, besides the Spurs game we played, it's really winnable games. Like I would almost go and say that we could probably win about 90% of the rest of the season. And that is kind of crazy. But I mean, if I think the Rockets are beatable. We just beat the Spurs. They're beatable. We beat them.
We've already beat them this season. We beat them last season.
And that's true. The Hawks, beatable. The Pistons, we're probably going to lose because the Pistons are really daggone hot right now, but I will say we could beat them. So are we.
Statistically hotter. Statistically hotter.
We could beat them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We could. Then the Rockets, beatable. Once again, Hawks, once again, beatable. Cavs, we lost earlier on, but, I mean, we only lost by 7, I think, and we were kind of competing the whole game. So beatable. Great. Wizards, beatable. Bulls, beatable. Pacers, beatable. Trailblazers, beatable. Mavericks, beatable. It just goes on. Almost every game we play for the rest of the year, we can win. It's just a matter of, can we be consistent? Okay. And that's exactly how I worded it the other day. The exact way I worded it was, and I remember it sounds kind of dumb, but let me explain it for you after. Can we be consistent with our consistency? Okay. Mm-hmm. Can our consistency stay consistent? Meaning, like, can we be consistent being consistent? It sounds so dumb, but like, if you think about it for a second, like, I mean, it's just like, can we keep going on these winning streaks?
Was last night's game not a perfect example? Down 22,
and then came back.
Consistency rang true. And that's what I've said. I've talked to the front office, like I said, and one of the things that we bring up all the time, and one of the things that they defend all the time is their pace. I'm like, listen, it is wild how many turnovers we have. What's the idea? Why do we keep throwing the ball everywhere when we have 22 turnovers on the floor? You know what I mean? It's like, it's insane. And they're like, we genuinely believe when our pace clicks, it is unbeatable. And if we can get more reps with our pace, we can play at this pace. Frick if we get 20 turnovers. We are making threes in 5 seconds off the shot clock and then grabbing a rebound and getting it back. Like, it's so fast. And I think that might be why we have this depth, is because we our consistency is our pace. Can our pace stay
Uh-huh.
consistent, and can we not turn over the ball? And yesterday for that first half,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, we had a turnover to assist ratio of 0.4, which
Oh
is
yeah.
wild. I mean, like we had like 3 assists and 20 turnovers. It was gnarly. And then we came back from it. So I really argue that our consistency is staying consistent right now. I'm happy win or lose. I mean that. I'm not really looking towards these next games as we're better than them. We can totally do it, etc. Like I don't have that, and I don't have that fire in my soul quite yet. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. These are winnable games, and the Hornets. I think you've said this in your broadcasts before as well. I don't think that if they do go to the playoff or play in, I think they're going to really scare a lot of people who they're
Oh
going to be facing
yeah.
in any series because of that intensity and of that
Uh-huh.
consistency. It's that pace. But let's hope we can rehab and not get injured. That's the biggest thing. You're right.
For sure. And then one last thing that I do want to say is that I've noticed the past couple weeks, and especially in the Pelicans game, I want to bring up that Pelicans game because, especially in that Pelicans game, our defense has been phenomenal. Okay. I mean, our second half defense, what did we held them to like 2 field goals that entire fourth quarter
Yeah.
and like nine
Yeah.
in the entire second half. Then we scored like 23
It's
in the second
dumb.
half.
And no offensive efficiency from the Pelicans.
And
None.
then, and then, I mean, we saw like, I mean, just this entire 6 game win streak, the entire month of
Yeah.
January, even. It doesn't even matter if we lose. Our defense still just seems to always look good. Like, we lost to the Cavs. We held the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the best offense, arguably, in the league. Maybe not the best, but at least top five. Okay.
We'll see. Now they got James Harden.
Yeah, for sure. Might be less, might be more.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I'm actually a James Harden super fan. I've loved him since I was little. But it's
Let's go.
just uh, who knows. But I mean, it's just we saw it with the Cats. We held one of the best offenses in the league to 94 points.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable how good our defense
Yeah.
has been. And so
And
I mean,
I think it's not even is it's defense in its offensive suffocation. And I'll let you get back into that. But you can understand that when you have seen the ball slide out of your hands, slide over to another random guy who you chased as fast and with as much aggression as you could, and then he threw it to a third guy who you set your friend over, and that friend is running over and jumps in the air to tackle him, and they pass it to a fourth guy, and the fourth guy shoots a three. Like at some point in time, you don't want to play basketball at all. Yeah, and I
for
think that
sure.
when we suffocate them with that much offense, it kind of plays defensively a little bit because they just stop trying.
Oh, for sure. Now, I think that's it. I think that's all my questions for today.
Sweet.
Great interview. We've got about 2 minutes left in the call because once again, I mean, like, I don't have pro plan. Like, I'm not
Right.
getting paid for this. I wish I was getting paid for this. But
Me neither,
anyways,
man.
but I mean, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach about 500. It doesn't really matter. I'm just either trying to reach like 500 or 1,000 subscribers by the end of the
Blow
month.
them
I
up.
mean, I hope, Chase Coburn, he blew up like 100,000 subs in like a month. Like, do that to me. Come
Blow them
on.
up.
Like, we're the same
Right.
age.
Come
Why can't it
on.
happen to me? But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. Go check out episode 23. Little teaser. I am making a Hornet song parody coming out
Oh, heck yeah.
tomorrow.
Let's go.
So it is going to
Heck
be
yeah.
awesome. I cannot reveal anything else about it, but just know it is coming out tomorrow. Anyways, see
I'm
y'all.
looking forward.
Thanks for coming on, Lee. And I'll see, hopefully you will come on later in the season. Maybe
Heck
if we
yeah,
make,
let's do it.
maybe if we make the
We
play
can
in.
talk Rising Star game. We can do whatever, man.
Oh
I'm
yeah, for
around.
sure. For sure.
If you need a guy to glaze the Hornets, I'll be here.
For sure. Go check him out. His link's in the description on Instagram, and I'll see y'all next time. Go Hornets!